guys, in today's video I'm going to be breaking down how I recorded Chamber of Reflection by Mac Demarco on my Tascam 244, but with an exciting twist. For those new to my channel, I'm focused on DIY recording, from covering songs to doing breakdowns on how I record them using analog cassette recorders. This kind of stuff is up your alley. I'd really appreciate you subscribing. It really helps my channel grow. Now back to the twist. I actually recorded this song 2 times. Once on my 244, which you probably heard last week, and another time on my Tascam 488, which is actually an 8-track cassette recorder. I thought it'd be cool to dive into the differences in approach in recording between the two. And at the end of the video, you'll hear a direct shootout to where we can compare and contrast both versions. Before we dive in, let's talk about the instruments and the signal chain. Let's start with drums. For the 244 version, I mic'd the drums in stereo, once with an SM57 near the snare, and the other mic was a WA19 slightly above the kick. I ran both mics independently through my ISA2 preamp directly to tape. For the 488 version, I did the same approach, except I actually added a third mic, an SM58 on the kick drum. Now moving on to bass, I used my Fender Mustang bass and I plugged this into my ISA2 preamp into an LA2A style compressor directly into tape for both versions. For the vocals, I use an SM57 both for the lead and the background vocals, running through the ISA2 preamp into an LA2A style compressor, and on the back end, I use my Alesis MIDI Verb 2 to add some reverb. Now let's talk about the best part, the synths. For the lead synth, I used my Roland Juno 106, which is the little brother of the Roland Juno 60, which is a synthesizer that Mac has been known to use. I ran the synth through the ISA2 preamp and then into the LA2A style compressor. I then added a little bit of reverb on the back end with the same Alesis MIDI Verb 2. Now, if you don't have a hardware synth, there are much more affordable options out there. One of my favorite plugins is actually the Tal Uno LX, which is a virtual synth that emulates the Juno 60. If you'd like a little bit more information on the preset, I'm going to leave a link in the description, courtesy of the site Reverb Machine, which is a site that makes different sample packs and presets for a lot of very common synthesizers. For the synth chords, I debated using the 106 again, but after digging around online, some people actually said that Mac used the Yamaha DX7 for the chords. DX7 is notoriously difficult to program, so I chose one of the organ presets that comes stock and used a crappy modulation pedal I have to get some of that sort of Leslie speaker rotating effect. Alright, now that we cover the instruments, let's dive into the recording process. Now, based on what we've walked through so far, there are going to be 8 instruments to record, including the click track, and we're going to be doing this one in 3 passes, similar to some of the previous videos I've posted. So in pass 1, we are going to start by recording the click track on track 4. We are then going to run our stereo drum track, which is both the left and the right mic. And then on track 3, we are going to be recording the Juno 106 lead part. We are then going to bounce the drums and the synth lead into a ping pong mix that's going to overwrite the click track on track 4. Now that we have the drums and synth lead on track 4, we are going to move on to the next instruments. We are going to be recording the bass on track 1, and then we are going to be playing the DX7 with those background chords on track 2. We are then going to ping pong the bass and the synth chords over to track 3. Now for the final pass, we are going to be recording the main vocals on track 1 and the background vocals on track 2, and now you can see we have all 8 instruments captured into our final mix. Now, recording on the 488 is a bit more straightforward because we have 8 tracks already. So with the 488, we basically have enough room to record everything, including the click track, and then at the end, I ended up recording my background vocals on the click track. Now, the biggest difference between the 244 and 488 versions before we listen is that on the 8-track machine, I actually have 3 mics on the drums, and obviously the other big difference is every track is separated. There's nothing collapsed into a ping pong mix, so we have the freedom to really EQ and level each instrument independently. First caveat I want to mention is this is not going to be a true A-B comparison. First off, these are two different performances, so there's already going to be nuances in the recordings. In addition, both due to performance nuances and differences in tape drift, I was unable to get these to line up perfectly. Second important point is that I didn't get these two versions to sound identical intentionally. The 244 version came out a lot crunchier due to the ping pong bouncing, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because it added a lot of natural compression and saturation. The 488 version is going to sound a lot cleaner, so from an EQ and leveling perspective, rather than trying to match the 488 to the 244, I chose to just make the best decisions to get the 488 version to sound as good as it could. I would love to hear your thoughts on which version you liked more. Please drop a comment below, and as always, thanks for listening.